Hi, it's Dan, and I know this is an alter introduction for Billy, but there were a bunch of announcements that I wanted to make, and I wanted to get those out of the way at the beginning of the video rather than throw them in at the end. So, if you want to just skip to the alter intro, I will put a timestamp somewhere on the frame, that you can just skip to watch the alter intro. But, okay. Do I even remember what I was gonna announce? First of all, this is the 10th alter intro, and every 10 intros we are going to do our Ask the Alter. We're going to do an Ask the Alter video, instead of having to do an Ask the Alter video for hundreds of alters, or however many there are, I've lost count. We're going to just do an Ask the Alter video for every 10. So, we're going to record that over the course of this month. So, if you have any questions for any alters whose introductions are up right now, so if you have any questions for Anastasia, Andy, Anemone, Arthur, Aquarius, Basil, I don't remember them in alphabetical order off the top of my head. Basil, yeah, I'm definitely Basil, Barry, Bev, Billy. I'm forgetting somebody. I don't know. Anyway, if you have any questions for everyone whose intros are up at the time that this is uploaded, ask them, get your questions in before the last week of the month. We're going to get this, I don't have a calendar on hand, but we're going to try and get the Ask the Alter video done by the last Tuesday or Thursday of this month, and it'll either be up on the last Tuesday or Thursday. So get your questions in before the day before. Get your questions in before the last Monday or Wednesday, because that's when we're closing up recording on that. Second update, the questions that we answer in these introduction videos are going to be different, because I rewrote the whole thing, and there's some new questions, and then I just changed the wording on some other questions so that alters understand them a little bit better. And then for when we end up having younger alters introduce themselves, I wrote a separate set of questions for them. So there's new questions, and that's exciting. And for all the alters who didn't get these questions, all the new questions, I'm just going to have them all answer in the Ask the Alter video, so that we're all up to speed on that. Next announcement is less about the channel and more just about, like, what the system been up to. Since the beginning of the summer, we've split, I think, 4 times. And I'm not gonna go into why. There's just going to be and I'm not gonna make them introduce themselves sooner. We're still going in alphabetical order, you know. But there are gonna be some alters introducing themselves, some sooner than others, who have only been in the system for like a few months, things like that. So that's kind of a lot for us to think about and handle. But yeah, the last thing I want to say is just kind of a question for the viewers, so I'm like hoping that not everybody is skipping the announcements bit, but do you want do you want us to keep posting altar intros while we're preparing for the first Ask the Altar video? Or do you want us to just keep it the current 10 and then upload different videos up until that point and then pick up on altar intros? I'm gonna keep recording my altar intros every week, but I just want to know what you guys would prefer for posting. And then if I don't get any feedback, I'll just, like, I'll flip a coin, I guess. But I want to know what the viewers, want. And then last thing, it's not even important, but I didn't draw attention to it when we dyed our hair for October. It was orange for October, but I'm gonna draw attention to it now because I just dyed my hair yesterday for November, and it's this nice berry color. It makes me think of pomegranates. So yeah, this is only gonna be around till December because we're doing a new color every month until the end of this year. I don't know what we're gonna do for our hair next year. But yeah, that's everything I wanted to say. So at this point, I'm going to do the switching thing, and we'll get to Billy's answering all these brand new questions. So yeah, those are the announcements. Let's see if I can do this, if I can pause things without messing. Okay. I was pacing around a bit, so, hi, I'm Billy, I'm 18 years old, and I use he, him pronouns, and I'm also the first person who's going to be using these new questions. What do you look like? Be as vague or specific as you like. I'm around the same height as the body, not that you guys can tell how tall we are based on this video, but around that height. I've got brown hair, it's curly, sorry, I thought I heard something, some freckles, I'm a twink. I don't know what else to say. In the simplest terms possible, what is your role? Simplest terms. I think if I were just to simplify it to just a common system term, I guess I would fall under the category of protector, maybe? Emotional protector. I think that would be, yeah. Are you an introject? What is your source? I am. I'm an introject of Billy Kaplan, or Billy Maximoff, from Young Avengers, the comic books. I'm wearing a Marvel shirt right now. Hang on. It's got all these guys on it. But yeah, that's who I am. Do you have pseudo-memories? If you'd like to describe them. I do, but I mean, if you read the comics, I don't really have to describe them. They're basically just that, more or less. Are you non-human in any way? Not that I know of. If there's any way to be non-human without being aware of it, then who knows, but yeah, not that I know of. How did you get your name? From my source? I didn't feel the need to change my name, I just kept it as is. What is your orientation? I'm gay, hence me referring to myself as a twink earlier. Hopefully that doesn't get cut. I'm not sure if it would. What relationships do you have in the system? Platonic, romantic, familial, rival, etc. I don't know where to put it in those categories, but Loki and I split around the same time, if not at the exact same time, so we're pretty close. Most of us comic introjects are friends with Basil and close to Basil. I've got family or family-like relationships. Bev is kind of like a brother to me. And then there's Rugena, who's like my mom, kind of. And then Charles is like every comic book introject's dad. Yeah. I don't have any romantic relationships within the system. I just have complicated stuff, and then I don't really have anyone who I super duper dislike. I think Loki and I used to clash a lot more, but we get along a lot better now, and I'd say our relationship now is just weird. It can't really be categorized as anything other than that. How long have you existed in the system? So that's basically just another way of asking, when did you form? I formed in late May of 2015. If I looked at a calendar, I could figure out the exact date, but it was the last week. It was like the beginning of the last week of May. So that's how long I've been here. It's been a few years. I can't figure out the exact math, but yeah. What's your favorite color? My favorite color is purple. Not any specific shade, but just purple. What's your favorite animal? I think I would have to think about that more. Although I am pretty fond of moose, just because when I split, I was fronting pretty much constantly for 2 weeks right after I split, and over the course of those 2 weeks, I saw 21 or 22 moose, because I was on vacation in Alaska. So I'm pretty fond of them. They're ginormous. They're really cool. What do you like to do when you're in the body? I'm a huge nerd. Aside from being literally from a comic book, I like to read comic books. I also like to play video games, and watch things like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, kind of, and things like that. I'm really big into fantasy and sci-fi and nerd stuff like that. So yeah, I like to play video games and intake nerd media. If there's anything else you'd like to say about yourself, say so now. I can't think of anything else to say. So I think that's about it for me. This is our 10th alter intro that we're posting, so if you've got any questions for anyone who's had videos up so far, you can ask in the comments, and we'll answer them and get the get that up by the end of the month, or at the end of the month. You know, around that. But, yeah. So I guess this will be the last from me until the questions video. So until the end of the month. Bye.